It's lonely sometimes at work, especially when you don't have a lot of real coworkers. And more, your coworker is a computer. And that raises some problems because people who are having to work with nonstop computers all the time are missing human companionship. And now it looks like it's causing some problems psychologically for people. Joining us now to talk about this is Dr. Vince Callahan. Vince, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So there's a new study out that says AI is going to create more isolation and loneliness. What's going on with this?
This study done by Tang and his associates basically say that there's three things that you can look for because of AI. One, AI augments or takes away our ability to make decisions. It attempts to interact like coworkers. It doesn't. And it doesn't give feedback. And because of that, there's a higher rate of alcohol use and insomnia because of the AI interactions.
Well, for one thing, AI can't. If you're actually working with an AI coworker, it's not able to adapt. If you come in and say your coworker looks tired, and you say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you look tired. Let me help you," or maybe they're excited about something, you can say, "Hey, what's going on in your life?" That sort of thing. There is something to being able to interact with a real person that a computer just can't do, or if it does do it, then it seems disingenuous because it's just programmed to do it.
That's right. And what's interesting is the greatest amount of alcohol consumption per capita in our country is in the West Coast. And you've got on the West Coast the greatest number of AI companies. So there might be a correlation there because we need attachment. We need connections, just like you're talking about. We need a sense of community other than ourselves, something that we're doing and putting our life into. And we need challenges. We need people to tell us when we're okay and when we're not okay. And so you don't get that with the whole AI culture, and therefore it's showing what's really going on in a person's life because of that.
So in other words, it's not just an issue of AI taking jobs. Even if AI is working alongside of you on the job, you are going to have a much worse experience. I can tell you personally, during the pandemic, most people were not working here at the radio station. They were working from their homes, and I was the only person at the radio station. I was just surrounded by a bunch of computers, and it was kind of depressing. It was kind of lonely because there weren't any other human beings to interact with. And I think that the more we move in that direction, the more this problem is going to persist.
Absolutely. And we're learning from the pandemic that, things like suicide rate or suicide attempts is up by like 66%. And we are learning that kids didn't really learn what we thought they were learning at school because they were on their computers and no one was supervising them, and they really weren't doing what they should have been doing. So there's a lot of studies and a lot of things that have come out since the pandemic going, oh, wait, maybe we're doing this a little bit backwards. And one of those is the whole AI culture that's not only taking jobs, but it's beginning to impact our psyche and our whole psychological well-being.
And one of the problems that you get into is the loneliness. According to a study by the U.S. Surgeon General, he compared this report said that the health impact of loneliness is equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's almost a pack of cigarettes a day. I guess I don't smoke, but I think that's about how many go in a pack. So that being the case, are employers who are thinking about employing AI technology, are they thinking about doing anything to mitigate this, to lessen the impact on their employees?
No, I don't think so. We've gotten into a mindset that it's okay to trade efficiency for relationships, and that's not okay. And it all becomes about what can I do to replace that person, and how can I create a computer system that isn't going to call in sick and isn't going to do certain things that the human person's going to do. I haven't seen a lot of studies out there yet showing where companies are really trying to do something that keeps the human factor and balance the whole AI. I haven't seen that yet.
Dr. Callahan, how in your practice, how do you see a lot of people who are already having problems because of AI?
Yeah, I do. I see a lot of folks that deal with their own self-esteem and loneliness. And then if they get into the whole alcohol use, now you're into guilt and shame of why am I drinking so much and what's going on, and other parts of your life begin to fall apart. But I see that a lot so far, since the pandemic especially.
And these people who come to you looking for solutions, what are some of the things you would recommend to somebody who, let's say, they're in a job situation, and maybe they used to have a lot more coworkers than they do now, and now it's maybe it's been outsourced to a help center, or it's just a computer that interacts with people and then puts the orders on a spreadsheet, and they have to turn around and actually make that stuff happen. They're all by themselves. What would you advise somebody in this situation to sort of still be able to connect with the world while doing their job?
Well, that's the important thing, is connection. And so what I tell people is find something you can connect to. If it's a church, if it's an organization, if it's a civic group, or something that you can connect to and put your time into and become part of a community, because you need that challenge. You need people in your life. So it's not so much about the gym anymore, because even when people go to the gym, they just go there to work out. They don't really connect with people. But find something in your life that you can connect to and that you can be a part of, because that does so much for our brains. They've done studies with retired folks showing that people who retire and do nothing, they have a greater rate of developing Alzheimer's and dementia because they're doing nothing and they're not connecting to people. So we're not made as human beings to be islands unto ourselves. We need connections. We need to be a part of something other than ourselves.
Right, we're social animals. That's when you go to the zoo and you go see the monkey exhibit, and they're always called the social animals. We are social primates. Even the human beings, we really are meant. We were designed to go into the world and actually find other people, to find that connection with connections that really cannot be done by a computer. As much as we try and make it happen, it's just not going to happen. Dr. Vince Callahan, thank you so much for joining me this morning on Alabama's Morning News.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.